Sonnet number 26. Lord of my love, to whom in vassalage thy merit hath my duty strongly knit, to thee I send this written embassage, to witness duty, not to show my wit, duty so great, which wit so poor as mine may make seem bare, in wanting words to show it, but that I hope some good conceit of thine in thy soul's thought, all naked, will bestow it, till whatsoever star that guides my moving points on me graciously with fair aspect, and puts apparel on my tattered loving, to show me worthy of thy sweet respect. Then may I dare to boast how I do love thee. Till then not show my head where thou mayst prove me.
I am John Ivy reading Sonnet 27. Weary with toil, I haste to my bed. The dear repose for limbs with travel tired. But then begin to journey in my head, to work my mind when body's work is expired. For then my thoughts, far from where I abide, intend a zealous pilgrimage to thee, and keep my drooping eyelids open wide, looking on darkness which the blind do see, save that my soul's imaginary sight presents thy shadow to my sightless view, which, like a jewel hung in ghastly night, makes black night beauteous and her old face new. Lo! Thus by day my limbs, by night my mind, for thee and for myself no quiet find.
My name is Blair Jerome. How many of you have spent the day at work wanting to be somewhere else or with someone else? How many of you have lain awake at night dreaming of someone else, whether loving them or wishing they loved you? That's what Sonnet 28 is about. How can I then return in happy plight that I'm debarred the benefit of rest, when day's oppression is not eased by night, but day by night and night by day oppressed? And each, though enemies to either's reign, do in consent shake hands to torture me. The one by toil, the other to complain, how far I toil, still farther off from thee. I tell the day to please him, thou art bright, and dost him grace when clouds do blot the heaven. So flatter I the swart-complexioned night, when sparkling stars twire. Now thou gilt'st the even, but day doth daily draw my sorrows longer, and night doth nightly make grief's length seem stronger.
My name is still Kurt Benrud, and this is number 29. When in disgrace with fortune and men's eyes, I all alone beweep my outcast state, and trouble deaf heaven with my bootless cries, and look upon myself and curse my fate, wishing me like to one more rich in hope, featured like him with friends possessed, desiring this man's art and that man's scope, with what I most enjoy, contented least. Yet in these thoughts, myself almost despising, haply I think on thee, and then my state, like to the lark at break of day arising from sullen earth, sings hymns at heaven's gate. For thy sweet love remembered, such wealth brings, that then I scorn to change my state with kings.
And I, too, am still Kurt Benrud. And I'm reading Sonnet 30. When to the sessions of sweet, silent thought I summon up remembrance of things past, I sigh the lack of many a thing I sought, and with old woes new wail my dear time's waste. Then can I drown an eye, unused to flow, for precious friends hid in death's dateless night, and weep afresh love's long since canceled woe, and moan the expense of many a vanished sight. Then can I grieve at grievances foregone, and heavily from woe to woe tell o'er the sad account of fore-bemoaned moan, which I knew pay as if not paid before. But if the while I think on thee, dear friend, all losses are restored and sorrows end.
Hi, I'm Jackie Markham, and I'm reading Sonnet 31. Thy bosom is endeared with all hearts, which I by lacking have supposed dead. And there reigns love and all love's loving parts, and all those friends which I thought buried. How many a holy and obsequious tear hath dear religious love stolen from mine eye, as interests of the dead which now appear, but things removed that hidden in thee lie. Thou art the grave where buried love doth live, hung with the trophies of my lovers gone, who all their parts of me to thee did give. That due of many now is thine alone. Their images I loved, I view in thee, and thou, all they, hast thee all of me.
I'm Rachel Potter Nunn, and I will be reading sonnet number 32. If thou survive my well-contented day, when natural death my bones with dust shall cover, and shalt thy fortune once more resurvey these poor, rude lines of thy deceased lover, compare them with the bettering of the time, and though they be outstripped by every pen, reserve them for my love, their rhyme. Exceeded by the height of happier men, oh, then vouchsafe me but this loving thought. Have my friend's muse grown with this growing age, a dearer birth than this his love had brought? To marching ranks a better equipage, but since he died, and poets better prove theirs for their style, I'll read his for his love.
I'm Robbie Merritt. I'm reading Sonnet 33, or as Kurt illuminated for us earlier, I guess it's Sonnet 33. Full many a glorious morning have I seen flatter the mountain tops with sovereign eye, kissing with golden face the meadows green, gilding pale streams with heavenly alchemy. Anon, permit the basest cloud to rise with ugly rack on his celestial face, and from the forlorn world his visage hide, stealing unseen to west with disgrace. Even so my sun one early morn did shine with all triumphant splendor on my brow, but out alack, he was but 1 hour mine. The regent cloud hath masked him from me now, yet him for this my love no whit disdaineth. Sons of the world may stain when heaven's sun staineth.
My name is Joanna Harrith, and I will read Sonnet 34. Why didst thou promise such a beauteous day, and make me travel forth without my cloak, to let base clouds o'ertake me in my way, hiding thy bravery in rotten smoke? 'Tis not enough that through the cloud thou break to dry the rain on my storm-beaten face. For no man well of such a salve can speak that heals the wound and cures not the disgrace. Nor can thy shame give physic to my grief. Though thou repent, yet I have still the loss. The offender's sorrow lends but weak relief to him that bears the strong offense's cross. Ah, but those tears are pearl which thy love sheds, and they are rich and ransom all ill deeds.
My name is Renita Banerjee, and thanks to Kurt for this opportunity to be present in this session. May I be taken seriously when I say that I address these very serious words to Shakespeare? I'm reading Sonnet 35. No more be grieved at that which thou hast done. Roses have thorns and silver fountains mud. Clouds and eclipses stain both moon and sun, and loathsome canker lives in sweetest bud. All men make faults, and even I in this, authorizing thy trespass with compare, myself corrupting, salving thy amiss, excusing thy sins more than thy sins are. For to thy sensual fault I bring in sense. Thy adverse party is thy advocate. And 'gainst myself a lawful plea commence. Such civil war is in my love and hate, that I an accessory needs must be to that sweet thief which sourly robs from me.
Hello, I'm Megan Mercer-Bourne, reading Sonnet 36. Let me confess that we two must be twain. Although our undivided loves are one, so shall those blots that do with me remain, without thy help by me be borne alone. In our two loves there is but one respect, though in our lives a separable spite, which, though it alter not love's sole effect, yet doth it steal sweet hours from love's delight. I may not evermore acknowledge thee, lest my bewailed guilt should do thee shame, nor thou with public kindness honor me, unless thou take that honor from thy name. But do not so. I love thee in such sort, as thou being mine, mine is thy good report.
Hello, I'm Lauren Armitage again. I would like to read sonnet number 37 for you in French. But I don't speak French, so I'm going to do it in an outrageous French accent. As a decrepit father takes delight to see his active child do deeds of youth, so I, made lame by fortune's dearest spite, take all my comfort of thy worth and truth. For whether beauty, birth, or wealth, or wheat, or any of these all or more, entitled in thy parts to crowned sit, I make my love engrafted to this store. So then I am not lame, poor, nor despised, while at this shadow doth such substance give, that I in thy abundance am sufficed, and by a part of all thy glory live. Look what is best. That best I wish in thee. This wish I have, then 10 times happy me.
I'm Cindy Fowler, and I'm going to read Sonnet 38. How can my muse want subject to invent, while thou dost breathe, that pour'st into thy verse thine own sweet argument, too excellent for every vulgar paper to rehearse? Oh, give thyself the thanks, if aught in me worthy perusal stand against thy sight. For who's so dumb that cannot write to thee, when thou thyself dost give invention light? Be thou the 10th muse, 10 times more in worth than those old 9 which rhymers invocate. And he that calls on thee, let him bring forth eternal numbers to outlive long date. If my slight muse do please these curious days, the pain be mine, but thine shall be the praise.
I'm John Fedderson, selected to read number 39. Oh, how thy worth with manners, may I sing, when thou art all the better part of me. What can mine own praise to mine own self bring, and what is but mine own when I praise thee? Even for this, let us divided live, and our dear love lose name of single one, that by this separation I may give that due to thee, which thou deservest alone. O absence, what a torment wouldst thou prove, were it not thy sour leisure gave sweet leave to entertain the time with thoughts of love, which time and thoughts so sweetly doth deceive, and that thou teachest how to make one twain by praising him here who does hence remain.
Okay, I'm reading, my name's Lydia Spiehoff, and I'm reading number 40. Take all my loves, my love. Yeah, take them all. What hast thou then more than thou hadst before? No love, my love, that thou mayest true love call. All mine was thine before thou hast this more. Then if for my love thou my love receivest, I cannot blame thee for my love thou usest, but yet be blamed if thou thyself deceivest, by wilful taste of what thyself refusest. I do forgive thy robbery, gentle thief, although thou steal thee all my poverty, and yet love knows it is a greater grief to bear love's wrong than hate's known injury. Lascivious grace in whom all ill will shows, kill me with spites, yet we must not be foes. Все страсти, все любви мои возьми, от этого приобретешь ты мало. Все, что любовью названо людьми, и без того тебе принадлежало. Тебе, мой друг, не ставлю я в вину, что ты владеешь тем, чем я владею. Нет, я в одном тебе лишь укрепну, что пренебрег любовью ты моею. Ты нищего лишил его сумы, но я простил пленительного вора. Любви обиды переносимы труднее, чем яд открытого вардора. О ты, чье зло мне кажется добром, убей меня, но мне не будь врагом.
I'm Tim Tharrington. This is Sonnet 41. Those petty wrongs that liberty commits when I am sometimes absent from thy heart, thy beauty in thy years full well befits, for still temptation follows where thou art. Gentle thou art, and therefore to be won, beauteous thou art, and therefore to be assailed. And when a woman woos, what woman's son will sourly leave her till she have prevailed? Ay me, but yet thou mightst my seat forbear, and chide thy beauty and thy straying youth, who lead thee in their riot, even there where thou art forced to break a twofold truth. Hers, by thy beauty tempting her to thee, thine, by thy beauty being false to me.
Sue Scarborough, 42. That thou hast her, it is not all my grief, and yet it may be said that I loved her dearly. That she hath thee is of my wailing chief, a loss of love that touches me more nearly. Loving offenders, thus I will excuse ye, that thou dost love her, because thou knowest I love her, and for my sake even so doth she abuse me, suffering my friend for my sake to approve her. If I lose thee, my loss is my love's gain, and losing her, my friend hath found that loss. Both find each other, and I lose both twain, and both for my sake lay me on this cross. But here's the joy. My friend and I are one. Sweet flattery! Then she loves but me alone.
My name is Melenchi Kirk, and I'm reading sonnet number 43. When most I wink, then do mine eyes best see, for all the day they view things unrespected. But when I sleep, in dreams they look on thee, and darkly bright are bright and dark directed. Then thou, whose shadows doth make bright, how would thy shadow's form happy show to the clear day with thy much clearer light, when to unseeing eyes thy shade shines so? How would, I say, mine eyes be blessed made by looking on thee in the living day, when in dead night thy fair imperfect shade through heavy sleep on sightless eyes doth stay. All days are nights to see till I see thee, and nights bright days when dreams do show thee me.
My name is Jeff Bizak. I'd like to briefly share the inspiration for reading this sonnet. So I wrote an email to Kurt and said, he wrote an email to me and said, would you be willing to read any extra sonnets? And I said, sure. Sonnet 44. If the dull substance of my flesh were thought, injurious distance should not stop my way, for then, despite of space, I would be brought from limits far remote where thou dost stay. No matter then, although my foot did stand upon the farthest earth removed from thee, for nimble thought can jump both sea and land as soon as think the place where he would be. But thought kills me that I am not thought to leap large lengths of miles when thou art gone. But that so much of earth and water wrought, I must attend time's leisure with my moan, receiving not by elements so slow, but heavy tears, badges of either's woe.
In Elizabethan physics, all matter was made up of 4 elements, and they were earth and water, wind and fire. Now you have heard in Sonnet 44 about earth and water. The other 2, slight air and purging fire, are both with thee, wherever I abide. The first my thought, the other my desire. These present absent with swift motion slide, for when these quicker elements are gone in tender embassy of love to thee, my life, being made of 4, with 2 alone sinks down to death, oppressed with melancholy, until life's composition be recured by those swift messengers returned from thee, who even but now come back again assured of thy fair health, recounting it to me. This told, I joy, but then no longer glad, I send them back again, and straight grow sad.
I am not Kurt Benrud. I am, however, Mike Rummel, and I'm going to read you sonnet number 46. Mine eye and heart are at a mortal war, how to divide the conquest of thy sight. Mine eye, my heart, thy picture's sight would bar. My heart, mine eye, the freedom of that right. My heart doth plead that thou in him dost lie, a closet never pierced with crystal eyes. But the defendant doth that plea deny, and says in him thy fair appearance lies. To side this title is impaneled, a quest of thoughts, all tenants to the heart. And by their verdict is determined the clear eye's moiety and the dear heart's part. As thus, mine eyes do is thy outward part, and my heart's right thy inward love of heart.
Again, I'm Julio Vasquez. At least I was last time I checked. And I am reading sonnet number 47, which actually continues the theme from 46. Between mine eyes and heart a league is took, and each doth good turns now unto the other. When that mine eye is famished for a look, or heart in love with sighs himself doth smother, with my love's picture that my eye doth feast, and to the painted banquet bids my heart. Another time mine eyes is my heart's guest, and in his thoughts of love doth share part. So either by thy picture or my love, thyself our way art resent with me.
For thou not farther than my thoughts canst move, and I am still with them, and they with thee. Or, if they sleep, thy picture in my sight awakes my heart to heart's and eyes' delight.
It is bright up here. Wow. Good Lord. My name is William Simkis, and this is Psalm 48. Haven't said a word. Hecklers already. Cue the Muppet theme. Here we go. How careful was I when I took my way, each trifle under truest bars to thrust, that to my use it might unused stay from hands of falsehood in sure wards of trust. But thou, to whom my jewels trifles are, most worthy comfort, now my greatest grief, thou best of dearest of mine only care, art left the prey of every vulgar thief. Thee I have not locked up in any chest, save where thou art not, though I feel thou art, within the gentle closure of my breast, from whence at pleasure thou mayest come and part. And even thence thou wilt be stolen, I fear, for truth proves thievish for a prize so dear.
Hi, I'm Melanie Simmons, and I am reading Sonnet 49. Against that time, if ever that time come, when I shall see thee frown on my defects, when as thy love hath cast his utmost sum, called to that audit by advised respects, against that time when thou shalt strangely pass, and scarcely greet me with that sun, thine eye, when love, converted from the thing it was, shall reasons find of settled gravity, against that time do I ensconce me here within the knowledge of mine own desert, and this my hand against myself uprear, to guard the lawful reasons on thy part. To leave poor me thou hast the strength of laws, since why to love I can allege no cause.
This is Sonnet 50. How heavy do I journey on the way, when what I seek, my weary travels end, doth teach that ease and that repose to say, thus far the miles are measured from thy friend. The beast that bears me, tired with my woe, plods dully on to bear that weight in me, as if by some instinct the wretch did know his rider loved not speed, being made from thee. The bloody spur cannot provoke him on that sometimes anger thrusts into his side, which heavily he answers with a groan, more sharp to me than spurring to his side. For that same groan doth put this in my mind: my grief lies onward, and my joy behind.